Welcome to Life on Sweezy Street. Today we're doing another Best Books We Read This Week. This time we're focusing on books for kids that are spooky but not scary. It's the end of September, and if your kids are as into Halloween and autumn as mine are, then you are probably looking for some spooky stories to read them without giving them too much of a scare, especially if your kids are anywhere from the ages 3 to 6. These books would be absolutely perfect for those types of kids who are still into picture books, not quite ready for chapter books, but looking for something a little spookier than your average kid's story. The first book on our list is called I Want to Be in a Scary Story. This book is by Sean Taylor and illustrated by Jean Julian. This is about a little purple monster who wants to be in a scary story. But along the way, he and the narrator go back and forth, and the monster gets a little too scared, and some silly things end up happening. This book was pretty fun. It's a really short little read. Most of the book is done through word bubbles, so you got to put on your best voice acting when you do this one, because you have to do the voice of two different characters. But this little purple monster is just super fun. The girls really loved this book, and so we recommend this if you're looking for something a little on the spooky side, but not super scary. The next book is probably our absolute favorite that we got from the library. In fact, we've kept it beyond our renewal date a couple times now. We really should return it to the library. But this is called Oscar Seeks a Friend. This is a book that I think was originally written in Polish. It is a book in translation. It's by Paweł Pawlak. And this book is really special because the illustrations are actually done with paper cut craft. So as you're reading the book, you can see the cuts of paper and the sketch lines. And so it just makes the art really something special. There are some pages that don't have any words at all, and so it really is an art piece as well as a really sweet story. This is a story about a little skeleton who is looking for a friend, but he's worried that he's not going to be able to find one because he's missing a tooth, and he thinks it makes him look really odd. And he finds a little human girl who just lost her tooth and asks her if he can have it. And they form a little friendship and bond over this tooth, and the story is really beautiful. She shows him her world and he shows her his, and the two become good friends, and it's a really beautiful story that we really enjoyed. This next book is also from the library. It's called Fright Night Flight, but I have seen this at Target and other places as well. This is a very accessible book. It's written by Laura Krauss Melmid and illustrated by Henry Cole. This book is a rhyme scheme book about a witch who rides her broomstick and along the way goes and picks up all her friends to get them ready for trick-or-treating. It's fun, the illustrations are cute, and it's definitely just the thing you need to get your kids in the mood for trick-or-treating. I apologize if it's hard to hear me. My baby is babbling in the background. But anyway, this book was really fun. The kids really enjoyed it. It's got a level of creepiness to it. The illustrations definitely show like the spooky side of Halloween with all the different monsters in this book. But it was a really fun read and we really enjoyed it. 2 more books to go. Both of these we have on our personal bookshelf at home and we read them all the time. The first of which is Vampirina at the Beach. This is by Countess Anne-Marie Pace, and she's written a couple Vampirina books. We also own Vampirina Ballerina. I'm pretty sure that these books were the basis of the TV show on Disney Junior called Vampirina, which both of the girls have loved for a very long time. It's one of their favorite shows, but I prefer the illustrations and design of book Vampirina over the show a little bit more. And you'll see why. It's just really cute illustrations, super beautiful. And this specific book is about Vampirina and her family going to the beach. But of course, as you know, vampires can't be out in the sun. So they go to the beach at night and they throw a really fun beach party. This is a super fun read. Both of these 2 Vampirina books that we have fold-out pages towards the end that just have like a huge illustration on it that's really fun to look at. This has been one of our favorite books for a really long time, and it's definitely perfect to put you in the mood for Halloween. Hazy Pie. Shh. finally, the last book on our list is super near and dear to my heart because it's a book that I have been reading ever since I was a little kid. My grandma had this book on her bookshelf and used to read it to me at her house all the time. It is called Gus and the Baby Ghost by Jane Thayer. The illustrations are by Seymour Fleischman, and this book is, I'm pretty sure, out of print. It came out in 1972, and it is one of my all-time favorite kids' books. It's about a ghost named Gus who finds a baby ghost on his doorstep and has to take care of the ghost. The baby cries, the baby gets hungry, and Gus is responsible for taking care of that little baby ghost. It's a really sweet story and just super different and unique, and it will always be one of my favorites. We do actually have a few other books from the Gus the Ghost series. We have Gus Goes to School and Gus's Happy Home, or Gus Loved His Happy Home. All of these books are pretty similar in their word count, but this one is the most readable to me. I don't know if it's the nostalgia factor or just because I love the premise of this book, but this is definitely my favorite of all three that we have. And I know there's a couple more in the series too. So those are the 5 spooky but not scary books that we have that we loved to read this week. If you want to stay tuned for more, please hit the subscribe bell. And if you've read any of these books or want to read any of these books after watching this video, please comment down below. We would love to hear from you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. This was what was responsible for all that noise, in case you were wondering. Are you talking?